Our first question is from a listener named Mitch, and he asks, what advice would you give to someone struggling with getting a good night's sleep because of their life circumstances, like having a newborn, working third shift, or different sleep disorders? And I know in our last podcast we talked a lot about sleep, but
Hmm.
hopefully this will have a little bit different answer because it's more about like their life circumstances versus the other one we were talking about.
Yeah, thank you for submitting that. I love that the name comes with it because it makes me think the last time I heard Mitch was when I was in high school. And
Mm.
so I'm so excited to hear there's multiple people in the world probably named Mitch, but I'm just excited to hear that name. And this is a great question because right, like you get on this routine, you hear all these things from, we talked about the sleep doctor, and then Matthew Walker has like the sleep lab and all this really good stuff, and you know what to do to get a good night's sleep, but the circumstances are not allowing you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The third shift, newborn baby at home, different circumstances, waking you up at night. Like sometimes these things are out of your control. And I will say, not that Mitch is a firefighter, but shout out to the firefighters, the medical providers, the people that are working crazy into the
Yeah.
night, because there's a lot of data showing how unhealthy that is.
Mm.
Even if you get home in the morning and you go to sleep. My mom did this for years. She'd work nights. She'd get home 7 a.m., get us to school, and she'd sleep from 7 to 2:30, and then she'd get up, take us to football, basketball, whatever was going on, and then go and
Wow.
do that again 5 to 6 days a week. And the life that can take off of someone, because you're not getting quality sleep between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And through the nighttime, your body is naturally saying it's time for you to go to sleep. And so you're using stimulants to try to stay up, whether it's caffeine, energy drinks, slapping yourself in the face, whatever it may be, but you're doing something to keep yourself awake. So it's a challenge. What I would say is, in those circumstances where you're not able to, go to bed at 10 or 11 p.m. and then sleep until 6 a.m. Or whatever your wake up time is, like you're getting this interrupted sleep. One way that we can start to combat that, if you've decreased the temperature in your room, um, you've done all these other things, blackout curtains or
Mm-hmm.
things like that, like you've taken care of the controllables, but you're still struggling, you look for the hidden time in the day to get a nap in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ideal. It's not the perfect situation, but shout out to the firefighters. When fire truck is
Yeah.
going by, they must have heard, hopefully everyone's okay.
Yeah.
But it would be, look for those pockets of sleep that you can get
Mm-hmm.
in. I've had the honor of working with a good amount of firefighters and police officers, and it's one of the hardest challenges that we have to their tendon healing. Like they'll come in with an elbow tendinopathy, rotator cuff tendinopathy, or glute tendinopathy. So what do we need to heal that? We need load. Load will help to heal that. We also need IGF-1 and growth hormone, which you're getting in deep sleep and during exercise.
Mm.
They're not able to get to that deep sleep stage where they're getting this growth hormone and IGF-1 to their tendons. So it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard because now that healing is going to take a little bit longer because of the sleep and the tough parts with that. So I think the best tip I have would be, try to fit in a nap when you can. Maybe have pockets of time. It's hard to try to catch up on sleep, and some research shows that we can't really catch up on sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have those pockets on a weekend where you get to sleep in a little bit, or take a little bit longer of nap time, or something along those lines where you're not getting constantly stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you would add?
Well, I think you answered the logistical way of like what to do, which is really what the question was. But I think in the midst of that, like be gentle and patient with yourself and the situation that you're in, because if you're constantly mentally saying, I didn't get a good night's sleep, and we talked about this, like I didn't get a good night's sleep, I didn't get a good night's sleep, or my baby's not sleeping well, he's in a, sleep waking up all the time or what have you, like that mental energy that you're putting into that negativity is also not going to help
Mm-hmm.
your poor sleeping that's happening. And so um I love the example of firefighters and stuff like that because maybe they're coming home and they're like, oh, I'm exhausted or whatever, but I just think like really entering, when you do have those times of sleep, entering into the sleep with gratitude, I think probably would help a lot. before you go to bed thinking, and anyone can do this even if you do get good night's sleep, like go to bed and think, oh, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to rest tonight. I'm grateful for this bed to sleep on, or if you're taking a nap on the couch, like this couch to sleep on. Or I know like my sister, when she had her first kid, she would nap when the baby napped during
Mm.
the day. And I know a lot of moms, like, they kind of do the opposite, and they're like, I'm going to get my fitness in during that time. Every person is different, but entering into, that sleep time with gratitude and a better perspective, I think probably would help as well.
Yeah, as you're saying that, and I was a little hesitant to share this because I'm still learning it and it's new. So if you know this method, please forgive me if I don't do it justice. But it's in those periods of sleep that you can get, that you do have a routine that allows you to enter into it. We have some friends with a newborn baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a little bit older than a newborn now, but he's still really young.
Yeah.
And it's very routine of he listens to a Christmas album,
Yeah.
and that's a cue to him that it's time to go to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's nap time or it's bedtime at nighttime. But having something in the environment that is cueing you that this is going to be happening. And then this is a new thing that I've been learning, but the Navy SEALs, it's really this progressive relaxive muscle technique where the Navy SEALs learn this so that they can get quick sleep into deep sleep as soon as possible, no matter what environment that they're in. Because they may be out at war, they might be in this just unforgivable terrain, and they need to get some type of sleep because in the morning they have a lot of work that needs to get done. So they use this method to be able to quickly fall asleep, deep stage sleep as soon as possible. And what I've learned so far from it is that they lay down, and what they do, and this is something that we can all do because we probably don't ask ourselves this a lot: how much tension am I holding in my face?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't even think about holding tension in our face. We feel it in our back, we feel it in our necks, but we don't realize how much tension we have in our face until you consciously bring it to your awareness. And then you take a deep breath in, and then you let it out. And then another thing that you can do is you can contract your face. So you would grin like that, like as much as you can, contract all of your face muscles, and then relax it and let it relax further than what it was before. Let that relax your head, your scalp, your face, like let all these muscles relax. Then you work down to your shoulders, then you work down to your chest, your abdomen, your legs, and then down to your feet. The first few times that you practice it, you may have to stay at your face because it's keeping a lot of tension.
Mm-hmm.
You may be at your neck, you may be able to get all the way through it. But as you continue to practice it, you do your face and then instantly you're asleep. So the Navy SEALs have learned this method and they use it to be able to fall asleep in really terrible environment, bombs going off and cold and just terrible conditions. And they're able to use this method to get into a deeper sleep as soon as they can. So maybe that can work for you. Again, everyone's circumstances is different, but maybe that's a tip that you could use.
Yeah. Awesome. Mitch, thank you for that question. We hope that was helpful for y'all.